Black women and men, we love each other. At the end of the day, the 5%ers online who like to be pushed to the forefront and they're whack. I just heard this man say, this is on Baller Alert, whom I just heard this man say, and he's ATL Jacob. He's the guy that produced
Oh, I know
Future's.
ATL Jacob. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that produced Future's latest album, right?
ATL Jacob.
ATL, yes. And I didn't know he looked the way he did. And I'm not saying that I didn't know he looked like that. But and he's not
I don't know
a
what he
ugly
looks
man or
like.
anything. He's not unattractive. I'm just saying I just didn't know. He sat there and said, my girlfriend got pregnant and she was gonna have a baby, and I didn't want her to have the baby. So I went out. I told her don't have the baby. So I went out and got another girl pregnant at the same time because I was like, okay, then I'm gonna make sure. Like he said this on the mic. He said this on the microphone, and the reaction from the Black men, they were like, that's Sagittarius energy. I don't know or that's Aquarius energy. The woman said that, and the guy was like, dang, that's wild, man. Instead of saying, my Black brother, you gonna sit up here and talk about how you
intentionally set up two families for
you tapped into your childish bag. You didn't want to have a baby. So in order to get her upset because she chose to have the baby, you went and got another woman pregnant.
Thank goodness his production is much better than his life choices. My God.
My goodness.
He'd be on the corner somewhere. Like me, can you want to buy this track from a brother?
Jesus. I couldn't believe it. So my thing is, we're having these type of people lead conversations
exactly. when in Black relationships.
I get upset, and that don't be the truth, because and then you got. I'm sorry to say to that beautiful woman who when he said that, she said, "Oh my God, that's Aquarius energy," or whatever astrology sign she chose
to associate that with. Like what's going on in there? What's the calculus going on in her brain at that part?
My goodness, because that's how dumb people are on social media. They don't read. They feel like they cannot have an actual feeling to a man that's disrespecting women. Girl, step up with more than just what you're saying, first of all. And men, when you see women doing it too, be okay to check that woman, because we cannot be sitting here and allowing folks and when I say folks outside of Blackness, folks outside, and I'm not talking about Black adjacent, I'm talking about the whites, the in-betweens, the on the corners. Y'all can't get in, but we're allowing you to see it and make judgment from these two bozos that have no media literacy.
Put the bozos. I want to make sure people see exactly what I'm talking about.
Let me go find them and I'll find the link. No, I swear. This is what I'm talking about. People who don't have any media literacy. And, at first I used to think, oh, okay, no. These people who don't have any media literacy, like they get on here, they get on these mics, and we are taking their word for Bible. I'm sorry.
When they're emotionally stunted men, children who are incapable of having healthy relationships, as evidenced by the fact that I woke up at 4 this morning. I wake up and begin my meditation somewhere around 4, mm-hmm. and there Myron was streaming on Twitter. So I clicked on it just to listen real quick, and there he was soliciting love from his subscribers. I was like, oh, that's so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my subscribers and we spend time with each other, but I got a wife in the bed and kids to tuck in.
Yeah.
You can
but they get money for doing this.
Myron,
he's not married. He's not married.
You can have, no, he's not. Come on. Who's going to marry him with that kind of mindset that he has towards women?
Yeah.
Just somebody he can be. I mean, he is a cop. So, I mean, with that kind of.
Go ahead and click that clip I sent you, David, and let me know when you're ready, because guys, I didn't make this up. And again, I love how ATL Jacob produces, but this type of thing, and this is his truth, but this is problematic in our community, that these are the conversations that are happening on our large Black platforms.
And I ain't never seen what he looked like, but now I don't even know what brother looked like.
Because I'm not saying that he's unattractive. I just didn't know he looked like this. And there are women out here that are allowed. Sometimes I have to look back at myself when I allow a certain type of man to do something to me. I have to be like, girl, remember who you are. Like, remember who you are and your power. Don't allow these people. What'd you say?
No. Because what you're saying is so real quick. Somebody said online that they went back and they looked over their life about how they dated this guy who treated them so badly, who looked horrible, had nothing to bring to the table, and she realized it was because he was good at arguing.
Oh, that's good.
right, I'm sorry.
See that was a podcast moment here. That's so good. That's so good, baby.
Aquarius.
All right. Go ahead. Play that clip. Play that clip, David.
My kids are 3 weeks apart. Like,
Yeah, what's the situation with that? Like,
I wasn't ready, so I was like, bro, I ain't ready. So like, that was an argument of ours. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm finna get Shawty pregnant.
Whoa.
So I got her pregnant on purpose.
That's such a Sagittarius thing to do.
okay,
Such a Sagittarius, so spontaneous.
Bruh.
You set yourself up to be stressed out.
Like, my
how
mom
was it dealing with the pregnancy? Did you do the maternity photos or anything like that? Or
It was so stressful. I ain't talked to one,
He
and I
didn't-
barely talked to the other one during the pregnancy because it was too much. I was trying to work, so I'm like, I can't let this like take over me, and this is what I need to take over.
So you ignored them their whole pregnancy.
Like my kids are 3 weeks apart. Like,
All right.
yeah, what's the situation
So,
with that?
y'all
Like,
thought I was making that up. This is everything I just said rolled into this, and this is my problem too. Right now, men are taking control of these microphones, and they're telling us too much and stuff that we did not ask for. They're giving us. And I hate to say this because I don't want to make this, but I don't like men that swear they're so masculine. Them being on the mic, they're giving us sassy business. I need you to shut up. Because now you were talkative, you were like, I want to talk to my man and pillow talk with my man, and we can be sassy together like that. But I don't need you to bring it to the microphone. And what he's saying right now, you see how he said he actively went to go get another woman pregnant because he didn't want the woman that he was dealing with at the time to have the baby. So he actively went to go do that. That's dangerous, you guys. And then he said that they were disturbing his peace. That's you can't walk
You
out
created
here.
that monster.
Yes, you can't walk out here and say that you want peace when you walking around disturbing people's pieces. Pieces. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Great.
You will have no sleep. Listen, like that girl said, I ain't getting no sleep because of you. You ain't getting no sleep because of me.
And I bet you he ain't changed not an airing diaper.
No. He said that he hardly talked to him.
Because could you imagine having to actually emotionally provide for 2 different children? You know who had this situation because he wasn't listening to the Lord?
Who did?
Abraham's old funky behind.
Talk to him.
Imagine the stress. Y'all got to forgive me because Pastor Bo just hit. I'm gonna get out of it real quick. But when you decide to do something on your own accord and not follow good common sense or what thus said the Lord in Abraham's case, you go out there and have 2 children. And then I wonder if Abraham actually changed any diapers or stayed up with them at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
He suffered, and we know that Abraham suffered. And when you do go out of and look, because now I'm over here shouting you down from the left side of the church. When you go outside of the will, baby, you alone in the wilderness, and them hyenas and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! And now you put yourself in that position. So you can't sit up here on the microphone and say that they were disturbing your peace. You went outside of the will. You went and did what you wanted to do. You hurt people, and you think that you get to live your life all good and dandy. You came from creating one of the best albums that Future has done in the past few years, not in totality, but you came out of nowhere, and we started giving you praise for how you were producing these beats. But you represent yourself as a person and an artist, and you sit on this microphone and you talk about pleasantly how you disrespected 2 Black women in your pettiness, and then said that you needed to concentrate, and their situations that you put them in was distractive to you doing your work. Hey, God don't play about his kids.
We don't need this we don't need this type of black male energy. We don't need this type of male energy, period. No. But I ain't, my immediate concern when it comes to this type of issue is the Black community. We don't need this type of black male energy. Less of ATL Jacobs energy there, more of his beats, less of that.
Please.
And
even with that, I'm like, I can't respect that he got on the mic and said this. Now there are a lot of people who may have done this. We've experienced it. We've seen that. But this right here, what I'm seeing is the fact that the girl, you guys, the biggest irk to me in that one is that beautiful woman saying, that's such a Sagittarius. That's a Sagittarius in you. Girl, that's all you had to say to that man?
In that moment.
Oh, I need my women to do better. And she's the example of the people that get cracked on TikTok when they're with the women that are sit over here with these men who are talking about how they've done women, abused women, treated women, and they sit on the side like, oh my God, that's so right.
I do wonder, why on earth do these women sit on the sideline and let morons like Myron Gaines and the other dude who look kind of kerfuffled, why do they let them get out here and say these types of things and rarely give any real pushback? What is that?
What is that about? It's about them sitting there and getting the coin. It's about them sitting there and because it pays. Ben, just like we talk about in politics, how it pays to ride the fence and how it pays to grift and how it pays to be a fascist. It pays. So in over here, these women are sitting there, and what's funny is the internet is like basically forever. So they will find you and they will see you sitting here on the side of wrong. And it will be there forever. And my good sis, I need you to step it up on this next, because it's the baller alert. And baller alert does a good job in putting out like different things. And I like their politics page, but stuff like this, I don't want our young blackness.
Come on.
This is what it to be. I want it to be stronger. Not that y'all got to be sitting there preaching. Not that we have to agree with everything that people are saying who got a mic. Okay. Not that. I don't. It's not that, because I don't agree with sometimes preachers sometimes when they're preaching. So I go to a church that I feel like more aligns with where I'm at. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I need something to challenge our community for us to do better with each other. And doing what he did to women, and that being a conversation where it was like you were more asking how he got away with it. You were saying that's such an Aquarius thing of him to do. You guys were laughing about it. Imagine the women who had to deal with him who were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a representation also to people who are not black, who already have an idea of how black men are with their children. And this man is sitting here and telling you exactly what he did to women as a father to be.
Which is not represented. Listen, let's just keep it real. Like there's actual data. I had the brother on, Josh Levs. I had him on like 9 years ago. He did a study and wrote a book about the fact that black men are actually more present in the lives of their children than any other demographic.
Talk about it.
Lie that has been spun is that we're not. And then you get morons like ATL Jacob to come out there and say stuff like that, which confirms this bias is not rooted in truth. And then you get folks like Myron Gaines and the entire manosphere, the Jason Whitlocks of the world, like the people who get the most money to get out there and say the absolute worst thing about black men and particularly black women. That's what gets promoted to the top, because they can't let you realize the truth that black dads, we rock.
Yeah, no, Ben, black dads rock, black men rock, black everything rocks. People who like to make sure they push the talking points and the rhetoric and the narrative that hurts our community, I can give you 2 huge middle fingers. I don't care about your content. I don't like it. It doesn't mean that you guys have to be holier than thou. It doesn't mean, like, I like Club Shay Shay, even though it gets weird in there. I like Club Shay Shay because he's giving people opportunity to sit there, tell their truths, and the one that he has with Ocho Cinco, it's just 2 men who came from football talking about how their experiences were with women, and you know they're going back and forth about it. Ocho's talking about where he is as a man right now with his I believe wife, and then or wife to be, and Shannon Sharp is talking about where he is right now and what he's looking for and why he's single. So those conversations to me are okay. But when we're having it, when we're disrespecting black men and black women, I can't sit here and allow y'all to keep doing that. Even though me myself, I can't stop it.
Rebecca, that's what pays the bills.
I'm gonna say that.
There's some white folks who love to watch that, and they would pay Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit good money to watch it.
No, you're right, Ben, because I know white folks who will attach themselves to who they think is the best black activists in our community, but we know, everybody knows that activists can be hurt. This activist can be hurtful, but the white people will attach themselves to them because it gives them some kind of like
connect. What is it?
White people get some kind of like, okay, I follow this guy, so I can't. It helps their white guilt. Okay.
But what?
So I got there because what I'm saying is some people they'll watch. Some white people will watch these abusive black people in these spaces with the mics and just say, I watch Fresh and Fit.
Right.
And he says,
yes.
And he says
same you almost make me cuss. They provide the same dag nabbit service for just different groups of white people.
Yes, they do.
They provide different groups of white people, different intentions. Like, I mean, they both, you know, those white liberals, they get on my nerves too. But those white conservatives that Myron and them are serving and getting a check from, they have a different intention, but they serve the same. Speak on it.
I did, and I don't want to speak too much because we got some politics to go into, but it's around the same conversation as well. It's another person in representation, and I'm talking about the woman that we ain't seen for years, and then another woman who's running, and they're all talking about the same thing, but they have these particular people saying the same talking point about America's racism, and that's to cater to white guilt. I'm telling you, it's to make them feel good. The work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.